You ever see a miracle in slow motion, where every moment aches with hope and fear, and you realize the hero isn't the one anyone expected? Blood trickled down my small brown fingers as I clutched the stolen badge, kneeling beside a girl everyone else thought was untouchable. I whispered, "I promised I'd save you, Emma," though the security alarms in the background pretty much screamed I had no business being there. If you told me a year ago I'd break into a pharmaceutical lab to rescue a white girl whose face I'd only seen on the evening news, well, I'd have said you were crazy. But here we are. Charleston, South Carolina, is a city of beautiful, lies magnificent mansions lined up right next to neighborhoods the world forgot. When you grow up in Oakwood like I did, you learn pretty quick that the world is divided by invisible lines, and sometimes the only way to survive is to pretend you don't see them. My name is Marcus Washington, and since I was a kid, I saw patterns everywhere, patterns in disease, in people, in the way things fall apart when no one's watching. Most people saw my grandma's peeling paint, her tired eyes from cleaning houses, but me? I saw equations dancing in the dust on our kitchen table. I saw what could be. You know what's funny? People always ask, "How'd you get so smart?" Like it's a trick or a magic show. My parents died 3 years ago after Memorial Hospital turned them away, claimed they were out of beds, but we all knew why. That's when something cracked inside me. I promised I'd never let anybody's skin color decide who got to live. Mrs. Bennett, my fourth-grade teacher, figured out my gift by accident. I corrected her college biology book and watched her eyes go wide. She started sneaking me science journals, medical textbooks, sometimes stuffed inside grocery bags so nobody would see. Some people can't accept that brilliance comes in all colors. "Marcus," she whispered. That stuck with me. One evening, while we ate beans and cornbread, the TV flickered with the face of Richard Whitfield, CEO of Whitfield Pharmaceuticals, a man whose shadow stretched over half the city. He was trembling for once. "My daughter Emma's dying," he said. $5 million to anyone who can save her. There she was, a pale girl with blue eyes, the kind of kid who would never meet a boy like me unless fate decided to throw us into the same fire. "Grandma, I know what's wrong with her," I whispered. Grandma's face was all pride and worry. "That's their world, Mac," she said, using my old nickname, "and they won't let you in." But I didn't care. I spent a week putting together a theory about her immune system eating away at her nerves. I typed it all up, sent it to their fancy online portal. Didn't matter. Got an automated rejection. Didn't even read it. Too many ideas, not enough degrees. You ever get so mad your hands shake? That's where I was. So, next morning I stood outside that skyscraper, my backpack stuffed with notes, diagrams, hope, and just a little bit of stubbornness. The security guard saw my skin before he saw my eyes. "This isn't a charity, boy. Run along." I told him, "I have a theory about Emma Whitfield's disease." He laughed. Two more guards grabbed me by the arms, ready to throw me out. That's when fate stepped in. Emma herself, wheeled into the lobby, looked me dead in the eye, and smiled. "Are you lost too?" she said, all innocence. That moment it felt electric. But then her dad stormed in, saw me standing there, and everything changed. "You're just another opportunist trying to exploit my daughter." Next thing I know, I'm back on the sidewalk, my papers scattered, fighting tears. A janitor named Walter, black like me, slid an access badge into my hand. "Sometimes you gotta break the rules to do right," he said. That night, I made a choice. Grandma wouldn't approve, but I was done asking for permission. Library hours became my battleground, digging through tattered books in the colored section, feeling the walls of the city press in. Then Lily Pearson, a white librarian with kind eyes, quietly handed me the latest journals before they hit the shelves. "These just came in," she whispered. That night, under a flashlight, everything clicked. Protein misfolding, enzyme stabilizers, a way to cross the blood-brain barrier like watching dominoes fall in slow motion. Saturday morning, I slipped through the service door at Whitfield Pharmaceuticals, Walter's badge sweaty in my palm. I uploaded my findings onto a hidden folder, left a note on the lead scientist's desk. Dr. Karen Chun had to hide under a desk when a guard came in. "You ever hold your breath so long you forget what air feels like?" That was me. Days later, the news was buzzing. Breakthrough at Whitfield Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Chen was on TV, but she didn't mention my name. I watched, pride mixing with bitterness. Emma was still sick. I kept meeting her in the park, talking about science and hope. She saw me, I saw me. Not a project kid, just a kid with dreams. Our friendship was my anchor. Then Walter found Messed the research team was stuck, missing something only I knew. I started sneaking in at night, leaving anonymous notes, risking everything. One night, alarms went off. I barely made it out. Next day, Walter was fired. Guilt chewed at me. I broke down and confessed everything to Grandma. She just hugged me, said, "Sometimes doing right means breaking the rules." She helped me come up with a new plan approach Dr. Chen directly. We waited in the park where she ate lunch, me dressed in my Sunday best. I explained the missing step in the treatment, spoke her language, answered every question she threw at me. Her skepticism melted away. She promised to take it to Richard Whitfield, and for once, the truth might win out. Except it didn't. Richard exploded, called a scam. Fired Dr. Chen on the spot. Emma's condition spiraled. I felt like I was watching a train wreck in slow motion. Loretta, an old nurse at the hospital, helped me sneak in one last time to Emma's bedside. I told her everything, how to adjust the treatment, what to do. Richard burst in, furious, but Emma pleaded. Security dragged me out like a criminal. In the basement, handcuffed and terrified, I faced a cop who looked at me like I was already guilty. Grandma stormed in, demanded they let me go. Richard arrived, broken. "I'm not pressing charges," he said, but he made me promise never to come near his family again. I walked out feeling smaller than ever. For days, I shut down, barely ate, barely spoke. Mrs. Bennett came, told me Dr. Chen was fighting for me, trying to get someone to listen. Walter visited, told me not to carry his burden. I started tearing up my notes, ready to quit. Then, out of nowhere, a note slipped under our door. "Please help her." I was wrong. Richard Whitfield. We agreed to meet him at St. Mark's, a church where the walls didn't care what color you were. Richard was just a father, desperate. "I couldn't see past the color of your skin," he admitted. I laid out my conditions, credit for my work, a scholarship fund, and hospital policy changes. He agreed. There was no time to waste. We raced to the lab. Dr. Chen was called in. I walked her through the last steps. She double-checked my work, nodded. "Brilliant," she said. They rushed the new treatment to Emma. Richard stood in front of the cameras, told the world the cure came from a black kid the system tried to ignore. You ever hold your breath for hours, waiting to see if you're a miracle worker or just another dreamer? That's what it felt like as Emma's vital signs stabilized. Then, slowly, she woke up. "You did it," she whispered. "You changed everything." Months passed. Charleston bloomed, and so did hope. Richard kept his word. Scholarships, a research foundation in my name, policies rewritten. Dr. Chen reinstated. Hate mail showed up. Old habits die hard. But Emma and I, we stayed friends. She walked again, with a cane at first, then on her own. We testified together before Congress, told them how easy it was to lose a life or a dream because of a rule, a wall, a closed door. Fame is a weird cage, you know? Some people only see you after the world says it's okay. But Grandma reminded me, you opened doors that were locked tight. The world's not fixed yet, but you gave it a push. So what touched you most? Was it the moment I broke the rules for something bigger than myself? Or the second Richard finally saw me as a human being, not a threat? Would you have kept fighting if you were me or walked away after so much pain? Tell me below, because I want to hear how you changed the world if no one was watching. Like this video if you believe in the power of one voice. Share it if you know someone who needs hope. And never forget, brilliance isn't limited by who you are or where you start. Sometimes it just takes one act of courage to turn the whole story around. What part of this journey moved you most? Where do you stand on breaking the rules for the greater good? Comment below about justice, courage, or any moment you'd like to see more of in the real world. Every story matters, and yours could be the next one to inspire a miracle.